Welcome to the deep dive. You're tuning in because you want the essential information quickly and thoroughly.
That's the goal.
Today, we're tackling advertising and public relations, these forces that, well, they shape so much of what we see and hear about brands.
Absolutely. They're everywhere.
So consider this your sort of shortcut to understanding the core ideas, the principles, and what's happening right now.
Exactly. And we've got a great chapter as our base today, one that really lays out the key definitions, the big decisions companies have to make,
Yeah.
how advertising and PR connect, and fundamentally how organizations try to, communicate effectively with all of us.
Yep.
Our mission here is to pull out the really valuable stuff for you, keep it engaging, and definitely skip the information overload.
Good plan. So to kick things off, what are we really talking about here? Let's get the definitions clear. Advertising. The source says it's any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor. Paid? Non-personal? Identified? Those seem key. Someone's footing the bill to get a message out broadly.
That's a great way to boil it down. Paid and identified are crucial. Then you've got public relations, PR.
Okay.
The definition's a bit wider here. It's the management function that evaluates public attitudes, identifies policies of an organization with the public interest, and executes a program to earn public understanding and acceptance. So it's less direct message pushing
Right.
and more about listening, shaping perception, building that foundation of, let's say, trust.
So if advertising shouts, look at this great product, PR is sort of prepping the ground, making sure people already think, yeah, that company seems all right.
That's a pretty good analogy, actually, yeah.
Our source also flags the main goals here in this whole promotion mix. For advertising, it's about understanding its role, the key choices in making an ad campaign. And then for PR, it's defining its purpose, right? Shaping how people see the company and how companies use it to talk to all their different audiences.
Exactly. Not just customers.
Yeah.
Investors, government, the community, even their own employees. It's
Yeah.
broader.
Got it.
And when we start digging into those major advertising decisions, you see it's a very strategic process, much more than just thinking up a funny ad.
So step one.
Step one, maybe the most critical, is setting your objectives. What do you actually want the advertising to do? What's the specific goal here?
And the source breaks these down neatly into three buckets. First is informative advertising.
Right.
This is about education, basically, making people aware, like ads telling you about a new product or how something works.
Explaining a price change, maybe correcting a wrong idea people have.
Exactly, giving the facts.
Then you shift gears into persuasive advertising. Here, the aim is really about influencing how people think or act.
Okay, like trying to get you to switch brands.
Yeah, building that brand preference, encouraging switching, maybe changing how you perceive the product's value, persuading you to buy now. It often taps into emotions, aspiration.
Creating engagement, building that brand community feel.
Exactly, that connection.
And the third type, reminder advertising.
This one isn't about teaching or persuading, really. It's just about staying visible. Top-of-mind awareness.
Like those familiar logos you see constantly.
Precisely. Maintaining that relationship with existing customers, reminding them where to buy, especially during off-seasons. Just keeping the brand name out there.
Okay, so once you know what you want to achieve, objective set, what's next?
Money. Budgeting. The source makes a big point that this can be a huge expense. Companies have to think very carefully about how much to spend.
It's a tough balance, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. A real strategic challenge. You're balancing how much you spend to get your message out versus, the actual return you expect. And that's not always immediate sales, right? Sometimes it's long-term brand image.
That trade-off. Short-term bump versus long-term health of the brand. Makes sense. So budget's allocated. Now the fun part. Crafting the actual ad.
Well, the creative part, yeah.
Yeah.
Developing the advertising message. And this has two key sides. The message strategy was the core idea you need to get across.
Okay.
And the creative concept. That's the unique, compelling way you bring that message to life. The big idea.
And the source really stresses how hard it is to break through all the noise out there.
Absolutely. We're just bombarded. So your ad has to grab attention, but it also needs to be, meaningful, believable to actually make an impact.
And there's a whole bunch of ways to actually do that, right? These execution style.
Yeah, the chapter lists quite a few. Things like slice of life.
Showing regular people using the product in everyday situations.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Exactly. Or lifestyle, which links the product to a certain way of living and aspiration.
Then you've got more imaginative ones like fantasy or just creating a certain mood or image.
Music is a big one in musical ads. Or creating a memorable personality symbol, think mascots.
Right. Or you could lean on technical expertise, show off how it's made, use scientific evidence.
Or get someone trusted, like a celebrity or an expert, for testimonial evidence or an endorsement. Loads of different angles.
It's amazing how many ways you can approach saying essentially, buy this.
It really is. And then, once you have the message and the creative approach, you have to figure out where people will see it. The media decisions.
Where and how often.
Exactly. Selecting the right advertising media. You're weighing up things like reach, how many people see it. Frequency, how often they see it.
Impact, too, right? Some media just hit harder. And engagement.
Absolutely. Impact and engagement are huge. And this is where that table 15.2 in our source is super helpful. It breaks down the pros and cons of different media types.
Let's touch on a few. Digital, mobile, social media, obviously massive now. Big advantages.
High selectivity, you can really target specific groups. Lower cost, often. Immediacy, you can get ads out fast. And huge potential for engagement interaction.
But the downsides?
Well, potentially lower impact because there's so much content. High audience control. Easy to scroll past or block. And just clutter.
Okay, contrast that with, say, newspapers. Still around.
Still around.
Yeah.
Advantages, good local coverage, sometimes seen as more believable. Limitations, short life, maybe not the best print quality, fewer people passing them along.
Direct mail. The stuff in your letterbox.
Pros, highly selective targeting, flexible format, no ad competition, right there in the envelope, allows personalization. Cons, can be pretty expensive per person, lots of clutter, and that junk mail image problem.
Magazines.
Often good for targeting specific demographics or interests. Credibility, prestige sometimes. Good print quality, longer life, people might share them. But long lead times to buy the ad space can be expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't always know exactly where your ad will end up in the issue.
Radio. Driving to work.
Good local reach, usually pretty targeted geographically and demographically. Relatively low cost. But it's audio only, the exposure is brief, and people are often doing other things the half-heard medium. Plus, lots of different stations fragment the audience.
And finally, outdoor. Billboards and things.
Yeah. Flexible locations, people see them repeatedly on their commutes, low cost per view, not much competing messaging right there. But hard to target specific types of people, and you're limited creatively. Got to keep it simple.
What's striking is how, yeah, digital is huge, but these traditional methods still have their place.
Definitely. They offer different strengths. And the trend now is very much using a mix, right?
Yeah.
Multiple channels to reach people effectively.
Makes sense. You might see a TV ad, then get a targeted social media follow-up, and maybe hear something on the radio, too.
Exactly. Creating that consistent presence. And the final bit on advertising the source mentions is evaluation, measuring if it actually worked.
Right. Did it communicate the message? Did it drive sales? Did it meet those objectives you set way back at the start?
Precisely. You need that feedback loop.
Okay. So that's a solid overview of the advertising side. Let's pivot now to public relations, PR. How does that fit into the picture?
So with PR, the focus shifts. It's less about paying directly for placement and more about earning positive attention and building relationships.
Earning it. Okay.
The source defines PR's role in the promotion mix as building good relations with a company's various publics.
Publics, plural. Interesting.
By obtaining favorable publicity, building up a good corporate image, and handling or heading off unfavorable rumors, stories, and events. It's really about reputation management.
So managing the narrative, building goodwill, and also playing defense when needed.
You got it. It's like that old saying, advertising is what you pay for, publicity is what you pray for.
Uh-huh. I like that. And how do companies do PR? What are the functions?
Our source lists several P ones. Press relations, that's about creating news and getting the media to cover it.
Getting mentioned in the news. Exactly. Then product publicity, focusing specifically on promoting particular products, maybe launching something new.
Go.
Public affairs deals more with community relations, building ties locally or nationally.
Being a good corporate citizen, kind of.
Yeah, that's part of it. Then there's lobbying, working with government officials, trying to influence laws and regulations.
Right. Influencing policy.
Investor relations is all about keeping shareholders and the financial world happy and informed.
Crucial for publicly traded companies.
Very. And finally, development, which is mostly used by nonprofits to get support, financial or volunteer, from donors and members.
So a really diverse range of activities under that PR umbrella.
Absolutely. All aimed at managing how the organization is perceived by different important groups.
And what are the tools they use? Advertising has its execution styles, media. What does PR use?
Similar idea, different toolkit, things like news releases or press kits. staging special events, press conferences, grand openings, tours.
Things that might attract media attention. Exactly. Also, written materials like annual reports, brochures, articles, audiovisual materials, videos, online content.
And even the company's look and feel, right? Logos, branding.
Yes, corporate identity materials. Also, public service activities, things the company does to contribute positively. And increasingly, the internet and social media are massive PR tools.
Or getting messages out directly, engaging with people.
For sure. What's really powerful about PR, potentially, is building those authentic brand stories, fostering real trust.
And often the source notes at a lower direct cost than advertising.
Right, because if a newspaper writes a positive story, that feels more credible to many people than a paid ad. It's got that third-party endorsement feel.
And PR is vital in a crisis too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely critical. Handling negative press, managing rumors, protecting the company's reputation when things go sideways, that's a core PR function.
Okay, so we have advertising over here, PR over here, but they don't operate in totally separate worlds, do they? How do they work together?
Ideally, not in separate worlds at all. The source really emphasizes they should work hand in hand, coordinated, complementary.
How so?
Well, good PR can really pave the way for advertising. If PR builds credibility and awareness first,
Makes people feel good about the company.
then they're likely going to be much more receptive when they see an actual ad from that company. PR can create a positive context.
Like PR warms up the audience, then advertising makes the specific pitch.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
And this ties into that bigger trend the source mentions, integrated marketing communications, or IMC.
IMC. Right.
The idea is that all the communication tools, ads, PR, social media, direct mail, sales promotions, everything should be coordinated.
To deliver one clear, consistent message.
Exactly. Maximum communication impact, because everything is reinforcing everything else, not sending mixed signals.
Okay, let's make this more concrete. The source uses Kraft Heinz as an example. How do they illustrate some of this?
Well, Kraft Heinz is interesting. A company with this incredibly long history, over 150 years. They've had to adapt their branding and advertising constantly as tastes change.
Sure. Things are different now than in, say, the 1950s.
Totally. The chapter notes they've actually increased ad spending recently, but also shifted how they advertise, more towards broader brand storytelling, not just, here's our ketchup.
Trying to connect on a more emotional level, understanding why people buy.
Exactly. Tapping into those deeper reasons people connect with brands like Heinz or Kraft Mac and Cheese, and they've really jumped into digital and social media.
The Velveeta example is interesting.
Yeah, the La Dolce Velveeta campaign, using platforms like TikTok and Instagram, working with influencers, creating that short-form video content. It's a very deliberate effort to refresh the image of a classic, maybe slightly dated brand for a younger audience.
So not just relying on TV ads anymore. They're building this whole online world around the brand.
Precisely. And it shows that integrated approach we were talking about. They're mixing traditional ads with online content, social media buzz, probably PR efforts behind the scenes too. It's all working together.
It's a cohesive strategy.
Right.
The source also has that real marketing box about the Super Bowl. That's like advertising on steroids, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The scale is just mind-boggling. Over 100 million people watching live.
Yeah.
And the cost for a 30-second ad. Wow.
Millions and millions. Which leads to the obvious question the source raises, is it actually worth it?
That's the big debate, isn't it? Are companies paying for immediate sales? Or is it more about long-term brand building? Creating a cultural moment.
Yeah.
Generating buzz that lasts beyond the game.
It seems like the ads themselves have changed too. Less about just showing the product.
Definitely. More about telling a story, using humor, trying to create an emotional connection, making something memorable that people will talk about.
And the conversation isn't just around the water cooler the next day anymore. It's happening during the game.
Oh yeah, the second screen phenomenon is huge. People are on their phones, tablets, reacting instantly on social media, sharing the ads they love or hate.
So social media just blows up the reach way beyond the TV broadcast itself.
Massively. And then there's all the PR and media coverage about the ads before and after the game. It's become this giant marketing event in itself.
A true integrated spectacle.
For sure.
Okay, so as we wrap this up, the chapter kind of brings it all together, emphasizing that consistent brand message again.
Yes. Across everything. Advertising, PR, sales promotions. It all needs to sing from the same hymn sheet, so to speak.
And highlighting PR's role in supporting advertising, building that overall brand strength.
Right. They also mentioned branded entertainment,
Yeah.
growing, product placement in movies, TV shows. Another subtle way to get the brand seen.
So the big takeaway seems to be Effective advertising and PR isn't just about making noise.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It requires really understanding your audience deep down and having a smart, cohesive strategy that uses all the different tools in a coordinated way.
Understanding the why behind the what.
Precisely. If you grasp these core ideas, the definitions, the big decisions, how advertising and PR interact, you really get a much better handle on how brands try to connect with us constantly.
All right, so you've completed this deep dive with us into advertising and public relations. Hopefully, you've got the key definitions down, a sense of the major decisions involved in advertising, the different jobs PR does, and crucially, how they need to work together.
Yeah, and we looked at examples like Kraft Heinz adapting over time and the sheer scale of something like Super Bowl advertising to see it all in action. It provides a really solid foundation, I think.
Okay, and that leads us to our final thought for you to chew on. Thinking about how fragmented media is now, so many channels, streaming, social media everywhere, and how influential social platforms are. How do you see the balance shifting? How might that relationship between, say, traditional advertising and public relations continue to evolve? What could that mean for how brands try to reach you in the future?
It's definitely something to think about. How will they connect? Where will the focus be? A fascinating question.